Hi, I'm Toby.
And I'm Savannah.
And this is the Season 8, Episode 2 of Game of Thrones, From a Certain Point of View. So now, again, started off with the brand new intro. We looked at that a little bit more closely this time as it was going up. Looks like it's just literally showing like the wall, the ice dragon kind of breaking something. I thought it was an ice dragon on the band. That's what it looked like to me. Starting right off with that. Again, it goes into so much stuff. It shows all the ways into Winterfell in the build-up. It shows all the entrances.
Did you notice though that it was? I mean, they said it later. They said fire pit, but it was like a fire moat around the whole castle.
Yes.
I just noticed this time. It was like a moat of fire around Winterfell. It was awesome.
I did notice that a lot. Yeah, that was really good.
I don't care if you call it a pit. It's a fire moat because that's cool.
And it looked like when they showed the King's Landing, there was a green spot almost in the middle of it where the wildfire would have blown up. Okay. I don't know if that's true. That's just what it looked like to me. We'll have to go more in depth on that and look in closely.
It could be. I mean, it would make sense that wildfire would kill them.
Well, no, not that it kills the wildfire. It's just in there where she did blow up the whole building with wildfire already. Yeah. It looked like on the intro on the map, it was a green spot there where wildfire was still maybe even burning a little bit.
It's possible.
So yeah, could be something like that. Otherwise, the show kind of. Again, it was more than a setup episode. It's to get everybody prepared. We're prepared for the Battle of Winterfell now.
So much still happened. Nobody died, but so much still happened.
We'll start off with our main man, Tyrion here, who did the most in this episode. Most dialogue, most of anything, really. He really moved the episode forward.
It's true. Well, he did what he does best. He drank and he knew things.
Exactly. And that's what he did. He brought everybody together, got them out of their comfort zones a little bit more.
Got them to drink before they die.
Yeah, and like he had said, they brought a bunch of people that had tried to kill the Starks. Most of them had tried to kill the Starks or been on opposite sides of the Starks since the beginning. So that's really interesting to see that they're all there helping the Starks to defend the North.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that he pointed it out too. And it was just good because you had Brianna Tarth in the room with him, not Sir Jormont, Davos of Seaworth.
Davos, yeah.
Yep, you had him in there. Podrick showed up.
Yep.
Jamie knighting Brienne. Yeah, Tormund. Oh my God. Jamie knighting Brienne was a huge moment. I was really moved in. Man, seeing her smile that big was awesome.
I feel like it was like watching Chewbacca get the medal that he freaking deserved.
Chewie should have got a medal.
And just so much. And Brienne was knighted, and that's what it felt like. That's like I feel like watching Brienne get knighted would be how I felt if I saw Chewie get a medal.
Yes, that he so deserved after episode 4. I agree, and it was such a big moment for her.
Yeah.
And seeing her and Podrick, Podrick was fighting earlier, doing the practice fighting. It's nice to see that he's still doing that and getting better. It looked like he was doing a lot better.
Like he was almost showing that other kid kind of how it's done.
How it's done, yeah, there you go, exactly. So I was really impressed with Podrick this episode. And just seeing the setup for the siege. Most of the time we see a little bit of setup in these episodes and in other movies, but you don't see the in-depth setup. What it's going to take, the food that they have to feed everybody asking where they're supposed to be and being scared to be soldiers. Some of these men and women who are fighting have never even held a sword before, So it was interesting seeing the little girl, where should I go? And she's going to protect the crypts. I believe in her. I think she'll do good things.
That was a good solution. That was a good meet in the middle.
Exactly. Really got it. Go to Jon now. Jon not doing too much in this episode. Pretty much.
Mostly just not talking to anybody.
Yeah.
He did the opposite of Tyrion. He didn't drink and he did not know. Although he's really good at not knowing things.
That is his specialty. He was very cold to Daenerys the whole episode.
Because he does know things and he's not good at knowing things.
He doesn't know how to
know things.
Well, he doesn't know how to talk to her.
No.
Really, he didn't know how to bring this up, and it was really just stayed away from her. He was very quick after council meetings, after things were assigned. He just walked away.
And to be fair, he did just find out that he screwed his aunt.
That's true. He was sheboying his aunt. So.
Yeah.
I would take that pretty hard too if I found that out.
Yeah. Well.
It's going off of him still. Theon showing up. Oh, well, before we even talk about that, trying to go hug. I can't remember the Knights Guard guy, the Watcher guy's name, but going to hug him and then Tormund sneak hug out of nowhere.
You know what? I don't know what it is about Tormund, but he reminds me of my brother so much, of Nick. He reminds me of Nick so much. I feel like that's what he would do. He'd be like, Toby!
Yeah! just sneak hug! So great moment with all those guys. And then with Sam, God, I can't remember his name, and Jon standing up on the the wall of Winterfell.
The original 3 of the Night's
yeah,
Watch.
they're
Well,
just
their
missing
little
the
Night's
2.
Watch
Yeah, they were
group.
missing the 2,
Their
and
little Night's Watch group.
it was glad to
Back
see them all
together.
together again for another episode at least.
And then now our watch has begun. That was a very good.
Oh yeah,
Very
a
good
line.
line.
I love that line.
Yeah.
It was very well placed.
Yep.
And then going into Sansa and Theon showing up to help out now and telling him, and then just kind of not even caring what Daenerys was gonna say, but looked at Sansa and was like, "I'm here to fight for Winterfell if you'll have me." That was big, and Sansa reacting the way she did. I feel like her and Theon are gonna go forward more.
And like we were saying,
Yeah.
it makes sense because after, all the controversial stuff or whatever with Sansa, probably that's not really something she cares so much about is the sexual aspect. So it makes sense that she doesn't really
Exactly.
care
She
what's
doesn't-
happened to Theon and that he doesn't have that ability.
Exactly. She doesn't need that. She just needs somebody who she can trust and who's gonna care for her close by. So that was really nice to see that, and just seeing, and then her last moment before the episode ended is with her and Theon enjoying a bowl of whatever they were eating. They were eating something probably delicious.
And
I
that
guess.
could be an interesting aspect of a relationship in Game of Thrones, because typically relationships in Game of Thrones, they're very sexual because HBO has that ability to show that.
Exactly. So and that's what the Tyrion said.
God!
I think he drank too much. I'm gonna go ahead and fix that guy. It's just like the one time. He seems to be okay now, though, ladies and gentlemen. So we're good to keep going. God.
What the hell happened?
I think I messed him up a little bit there, and he just fell over.
But yes, it would be very interesting to see an aspect of relationships that's just about kind of their other connections that aren't just physical and sexual, and
Just wanting to be together.
that'd be I feel like that would be kind of unique for Game of Thrones.
Oh, I'd agree with
They
that.
don't really delve into the other stuff. They kind of just delve into the betrayal and the sex.
Yes. So on that note, going into the next Stark family relative, or sibling even, I guess is a better way to say it, Arya. She's getting some. And she got some.
For like
Gendry.
literally for the first time.
Yeah, her and Gendry.
Apparently HBO had to literally release a statement just reminding everybody that Arya's character is 18 years old, and the actress obviously is older than that.
So Arya, she got her weapon. At first I thought that was going to be a double-bladed kind of spear, almost like a Darth Maul type of Game of Thrones weapon. Looks like it's just a one-ended spear. Looks badass. She was
I'm
pulling it
thinking
the whole
that
time.
the reason she asked for it, and I don't know how she would have known to ask for it because she wasn't there, and I don't think she's talked to Jon much, but I'm thinking that the way that's going to come into play is she's going to spear the ice dragon with it.
And that would be interesting, that she would try to take down the ice dragon with that.
I don't think none of them even know that there's an ice dragon. So that might not be what she had. And clearly, that's not what she had it made for. None of them know there's an ice dragon, but I think that's how it's going to become important. Is that she's going to have to spear the ice dragon the way he speared it in the first place.
Right. I could see that too. Her seeing the Hound, talking to him, everybody was kind of having their last moments with the characters that they'd interacted for the most part, except for Jon and Daenerys. They were just off doing something.
So my thought with that is that's kind of what I'm worried is the predicator for who's going to die, because
People
you
having
see
moments.
because you see Tyrion, he don't get me wrong, he brought the band together, he did what he does, but he didn't really have a moment. He kind of had failed with Daenerys, he kind of still felt like he'd failed. He was really mostly just drinking and knowing things, and I feel like that's kind of more of a predicator that Tyrion, he's probably going to keep going.
Well, they're not saying their goodbyes. They're the ones who aren't. We're not setting them up to leave people behind feeling better than if they just were all of a sudden to die.
No, that's the thing though, is I feel like that's kind of what they do, is they set it up like,
Oh,
oh, well,
that's what I'm
Arya
saying.
and Gendry are sleeping together. Oh, they could go on after this to have a happy relationship. That's kind of their thing, is, oh, well, look at what we could have, and now we're going to kill her.
Right.
You know?
No, that's what I was saying. I was agreeing with you on that.
Yeah, but, and the same thing with Brienne. Brienne got basically what she's secretly wanted her whole life. She gets to be knighted, and I just feel like,
knighted.
because Brienne doesn't really care about the sexual aspect, and I realize that fans want her to bang Tormund or Jaime or whoever, but I feel like that's not what she's ever cared about at all, and so seeing her get knighted, it really made me worry, like, maybe that's what they did. They gave her what she wanted, but now she's not going to live on to be some badass knight. She's going to die having been knighted, but We don't get to see what she's going to do with
what she
that.
could do afterwards. Yeah, and that's an interesting idea behind that. I like
the people who got what they really wanted the most, I think, are the ones that are more likely to die.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you on that. I see that. So, all right, on to our next, Dany. Now, this episode really showed her struggle with Sansa. What about the North? What will happen to the North in the end? The North wants to be left alone. They want to be separate. Why does she need to rule the North? I don't know.
Yeah,
maybe they can work out something in the end.
I don't understand her anger either, because Sansa doesn't care about the Iron Throne. None of them care about the Iron Throne. They just don't want to be ruled. They want to be their own people. And as somebody who's freed so many slaves, I'm sorry, but Daenerys should understand that.
Right,
I feel like, in general, Daenerys in this episode was very frustrating. Because...
almost out of character a little bit.
I mean, not even necessarily that. I just feel like the closer she's getting to what she wants, the more she's losing who she was. And that's the problem, is she was somebody who was unburnt and freed all the slaves and did all these great things for people. I mean, and she rose essentially from nothing to try to do these great things, and her whole entire purpose of taking back the Iron Throne is that she wants to do better things, and yet she's still acting like a dictator, or acting like her relatives that failed before her.
Yeah, interesting.
Like freaking out about Jon, when Jon finally made his revelation, saying, you know, who he was. Her very first reaction isn't, oh, I just committed incest again, just like my relatives do. It was, oh, well, that means that you're the rightful heir to you're the last male heir.
She's always concerned about the throne.
And that should not, I'm sorry, that should not have been her
Throne.
first reaction. She's toting around telling Sansa, oh, I love your brother, and freaking out that he won't talk to her. But then the second he tells her the truth, it's, oh, well, now you just want my throne. Like...
Right, and I wish that part of the episode had been earlier, so they could have finished that talk. I just don't see this being a good talk to leave halfway through to go fight in the war together.
I agree, but I mean, at the same time, I do understand why writers do it. They're trying to waste time. That's what they do. I get it. I've done it. It's what you do as a writer. You create that tension and those issues that you can solve later, so that, you know, once the battle's done, there's still a story to tell. But at the same time, it's like, I don't know. It's just it felt a little bit frustrating, because she's going backwards instead of forward. She's not making character growth. She's devolving, and I don't like that. Yeah,
that's fair. That's fair, very much. She was very the episode, it just opened up with her just right on Jaime.
Which now that is fair. He literally stabbed their father.
Oh, and killed their dad. Yeah, and I get that. But I like that Sir Drogon came to her in the end, was like, but they were forgiving.
Yeah.
You know, he was explaining, you know, you forgiving, and that's what you still need. Defending Tyrion in her name. Tyrion's really falling out with her right now, being wrong about Cersei. Again, Tyrion should have seen that coming. Cersei's a bitch. Always will be. That's why she's at the end of the line. Even if she had been bigger in this episode, she'd still be at the end of the line. That's where she belongs. But anyways, that's prejudice against her, but I don't care. She belongs at the end. That's
Lena Headey would agree.
Yeah, exactly. That's her role. She wants me to hate her character, and she does a damn good job at me hating Cersei. But anyways, we're divulging the point there. Back to Tyrion. You know, he should have expected Cersei to not be telling the truth, to use a truth as a lie, as Jaime said. I like that a lot when Jaime said that. She's always been one to use truths to create a lie.
Yeah.
Ooh. And that really shows that Jaime's growth of accepting who Cersei is finally. Not sugarcoating and not giving her excuses and pretending.
Yeah.
He's straight up just telling how it is now. And he has admitted multiple times in this episode to stooping his sister. He said it multiple times, and I like that. And I really enjoyed the dialogue between Bran and Jaime, and I'm glad it took place underneath the tree. Can't remember the tree's name for the life of me right now. But I'm glad it took place there. It was really just... that scene was really captivating. I was really drawn into what they were saying and everything. And, you know, Jaime, they're saying, you know, what happens after the end of this? What makes you think there is an end?
Yeah.
Like, what?
That's a fair point.
That's insane to have to listen to that. I still think one of my theories is that Jaime will die in the North, and that Arya will take his face to go kill Cersei. I still like that theory a little bit. Cersei dying thinking Jaime killed her. I think that would be pretty interesting. Without making Jaime have to do it.
Yeah.
It's a way to do that.
But, I mean, I get not making Jaime do it, but I think he's gotten to the point where he realizes that maybe it's time. Although, with her being pregnant, that creates a whole different issue.
And Arya's not going to care.
Yeah.
I just don't see Arya caring too much about that. Well, Night King and Cersei, not really doing too much this episode. Didn't see either one of them. We saw White Walkers, which is cool to see a bunch of new White Walkers.
Yeah.
There was a good line of them. I couldn't count them all in the end. But I would like to know how many White Walkers he actually had on that line, because that'll be interesting to know how many will be going with him into battle. Because the White Walkers need to be killed with Valyrian steel. Mm-hmm. So I don't know if Dragonglass can kill them. I don't think we saw that, because Jon killed the one with Valyrian steel. Whites can be killed with Dragonglass, but I don't know if White Walkers can. So that's something that would be interesting, A, to know, and to be hopefully our characters to know. So yeah, these two in the end, not doing too much. We don't even know what either one of them is doing.
We didn't see either one of them, so we don't know
Cersei,
what
like
they're doing
always,
this episode.
Yeah, Cersei, like always, we can assume is in King's Landing, because, I mean, she's left that, twice?
Yeah.
If that, throughout the whole series. So yeah, I don't see her coming at all. I'm really glad they held off showing us the Battle of Winterfell still. I'm glad that that's going to be basically the center focus of episode 3.
Yeah.
The first episode, and the longest episode of the season, at 1 hour and 22 minutes. So I'm very excited for that.
Which begs the question is, are they going to have to retreat, or is it going to be over at the end of the first half, and then the second half is literally just about the Seven Kingdoms and what's going to happen then? I mean,
does the Night King only bring part of his force against Winterfell just to see what
right.
will happen? Maybe he wants him to fall back to King's Landing. Maybe he wants that more of that conflict.
Or maybe they will just go head on head, and it will literally just be the first 3 episodes are about defeating the Night King, and the last 3 episodes are about figuring out what to do with the Iron Throne and with Cersei.
That could be very much true.
I feel like it would be kind of disappointing to a lot of people, because literally the entire series has led up to this moment.
But if you remember, the series is about the throne.
Yeah.
It's about these
thrones.
People trying to get to the throne. They all want, not all of them want the Iron Throne, but they're all in line to take the throne.
Yeah.
So I would think if he did, I wouldn't be too disappointed if he did die by the end of episode 3. I'd be like, well, it makes sense. He's our lieutenant. He's our secondary bad guy of the overall. He's somebody to create tension, so that when these people are doing something else, we still have tension with all of these characters.
Yeah.
There's still a reason. There's still a reason for everybody to be suspicious of everybody else. So I wouldn't be too upset if that was the case. I feel like, I don't know, the dead that are in the tombs, in the crypts, I think they might come alive.
Doesn't he have to do something? I thought he had to have personally killed them. That's kind of how I took it.
Yeah, and that could be, I don't know for sure, but I just feel like, I just don't know if the people in the crypts are going to be safe. They've been mentioning that too much. You need to be in the crypts. Yeah. You need to be in there to protect people in the crypts. They're putting certain people in there. And if we remember in the trailer, we saw in the crypt Ghost was in there too.
That's
Why are they
true.
putting Ghost in there? Why wouldn't Ghost be out on the field?
Well, yeah.
Ghost could do a lot of damage. It has in the past. Why not now? So I feel like there's going to be more to the crypts. The crypts are going to be more involved than we think they are. That's just something that I've been leading to believe, so I don't know for sure. It could be, it could not be.
I don't know if you got to say everything you wanted to say about Arya getting laid.
I was just so happy that Arya got laid. About time. She's done so much. She deserved her time.
She did.
She did deserve her time.
She's 18. It's okay. Let her just...
Exactly. And it was fine to see, and it didn't feel forced or anything. It just felt natural. I was glad that she got to do it with
the scene that
Gendry.
they did
Made sense.
The scene that they did before that too was funny. I like where she's throwing all the spears and stuff, and he's kind of like,
oh yeah, it's kind of
interesting.
Yeah, he was kind of liking that.
He's into it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Throwing the dragonglass knives.
It was very sexual.
The episode ending with Jon and Daenerys talking down the catacombs. Him spilling the beans to her and everything, her talking about just about the throne, and then they hear it, the horns. They come up, and the dead have arrived. They are not right there. So everybody's to battle. Looks like they got there faster than the day. Looks like it might be maybe a night battle into a day battle. Really interested to see how this goes. It'll be interesting to see just finally all the preparations, everything we've been building for since the end of, I'd say the last 3 episodes of end of season 7 until now. This is, everything they've been preparing for against the dead. So that'll be interesting. And to see, I'm really interested to see what Dany's face is going to be like when the ice dragon, when Viserion shows up as a dragon of the dead.
That's gonna hurt.
I think that's gonna hurt. Yeah, and they don't know that. Like you were saying earlier, they don't know that yet. So that's gonna be a huge shocker to them.
I feel like Tormund probably should have said something. Like, hey guys, by the way, we have an ice dragon.
I do wonder if Tormund did say something. Maybe they didn't just show it to us.
That would kind of suck.
I feel like he would because Tormund's never. Well, he has seen a dragon when they flew in. But I think that he would say something about that. So maybe they do actually know they have an ice dragon. That'll be interesting to find out.
I feel like that's not something that they would reveal off screen.
Yeah, that's fair. So Tormund just
they would want to get her.
Maybe Tormund was too far away to see what was happening.
Or maybe just too busy trying to bang Brienne,
Well, he was on the wall when it happened. When the dragon came and broke it down, and Brienne was nowhere near there.
No, I'm saying too busy trying to bang Brienne to say anything.
To say anything, I see what you're saying, yeah. Alright, well again, nothing too major happened, another setting up episode.
Well, I mean, nothing major death-wise happened, but a lot of stuff happened.
Right, yeah, that's fair to say. No major deaths, actually no deaths at all.
No deaths, yeah.
No, not even one death. So yeah, well, I guess the Battle of Winterfell will be the next episode, and we'll be excited to see what happens. Hour and 22 minutes, so I'm sure a lot of shit's gonna go down in the end.
Oh yeah.
Well, until next time, may the films be with you.